All right, so let's say you just made the decision just now to actually become a freelancer and you want to get hired for your first client and you're ready to roll and you're ready to leave your job and tell your boss where to stick it and basically what to do to control your income in your future, but you're not exactly sure where to start. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to choose an industry and a niche, basically an industry and a sub niche that works well with your style and your interests. You can master your skill set, control your income, do what you want to do in life and business, and really serve clients to your utmost potential, get what you're worth, and get paid what you really deserve. Just check it out in this video. What's up, my friend? Welcome back. It's Evan from Moat of Emotion, coming at you with another video about copywriting and consulting, and specifically this video in this series is about how to get hired as a consultant or a copywriter or a freelancer in general. And really you want to figure out how to own your time, own your income, and own your service that you're offering to people. So I'm going to show you how to find clients, and in this #1 video, essentially we're figuring out how to land the first client by actually first picking an industry that we want to serve in, rather than just going, shooting with the shotgun approach and try to spray from the hip and hit, anybody and everybody who might listen to us and give us money, because that really isn't how it works. You actually need to figure out who your target is and who you're going after, and you need to figure out how you can learn their business model and their service, and then provide them with valuable services that they'll pay you for handsomely to be able to control your time without a boss and work as a freelancer, working on your own schedule with your own hours, your own freedom, really living anywhere that you'd like to live, because you can do this type of work from anywhere as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, a phone, and a laptop. And I'm going to show you how to pick the industries and how I go about picking industries and niches to serve, and what type of research is really in the background requirement for this type of stuff. So let's hop into this in this video. Before we do, make sure that you like the button, or if you don't like it, you can just smash it. It doesn't matter. You can take all your anger out on it. Make sure that you click it so it's blue and thumbs up, and then it will get circulated around the internet a lot better, so a lot more people like yourself can see this, as well as you can see the new videos that come up. This is a suggested video. And speaking of, you can smash the subscribe button here, which will help you also lead to the notification bell. If you ding that bell, you will be able to be notified as the videos drop, because I'm already dropping each video. You can check the longer form video too. This one's like an hour, and we go through all 5 steps of landing your clients and how to get hired as a freelancer and a high-paying copywriter, designer, or whatever you choose to be as a freelancer. So all the old videos will be broken out and chosen specifically how to dive deep into each video in these cards. So that's what I would say. So without further ado, let's get into the video and how to choose your industry. The first thing that goes into choosing an industry is basically figuring out what you'd like to do and how it kind of meets up with the market and who you're wanting to serve. So if you are not interested in like construction or something like that, or like even real estate or something that somehow bores you and you just really can't wrap your head around how you'd want to start that business, then you should really just steer clear of it, because it doesn't really matter how much money you could make or how well you could do in this niche if you hate it, and if you're not going to want to work in it. For the long run, it doesn't matter. Or if you're in like some type of HR service now, or maybe you're doing accounting and you for your job, and you can't even bear like doing in one more line of accounting for another profit and loss statement, and you don't want to go into that niche, that's totally fine. You don't choose that industry because it's like maybe it may be good for your actual services and your skill set, but your experience shows that you hate that thing and you don't want to do it more. So don't choose it as your business, or else you hate it or you're quit. You're gonna give up way too early, right? So my tip first of all is really to start with figuring out what you'd like to do in life and your business, and then making an industry match up with that. Also making sure that they have demand and good low competition, so you can jump in there and make your mark in that and actually enjoy doing it. So that's step 1, is figuring out what you align with and what you actually like to do, because that will make a big difference in your success and make a big difference in who you choose to work with and how much you enjoy it. So moving on to step 2, you also need to figure out a little bit of the background research of the actual industry. So maybe this industry has a lot of good budding potential, like maybe it's the cannabis space, or it's maybe up and coming for the online commerce space, something like that. Things that are always blowing up, tech, those those are a lot of like high growth niches and industries, and they have a lot of good potential in there. So I would say if you're focusing on that, that would be good for your growth and figuring out where you can go. But it really is depending on where you're going. So if you want to be in some type of high growth industry, you should choose something like tech or e-commerce or online business, or maybe, you know, like some budding industry like the cannabis space, CBD, whatever. Like those types of things have massive growth, and they have a lot of growth potential in the future, so they can get bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's more and more room for people to be service providers in those spaces. So if you want to be a freelancer in that space, you need to figure out which one is actually growing towards the future and not dying. So like things that were dying, it would be bad to get into, like, you know, like maybe 10 years ago, it'd be bad to go into the fax machine manufacturing space, right? If you see a bunch of people that are trying to, you know, sell their fax machines, and everything is shifting towards email and toward online campaigns, and you know that these things are probably going to be irrelevant, you don't want to consult with those type of companies. You don't want to be a freelancer for a dying technology, right? You don't want to be a consultant for something that is really closing out as an industry as a whole, right? So different old technologies, different things that are kind of dying down, maybe magazines and print ads and things like that. That stuff is kind of like, it's still going and it's still strong, but it's like over time it's getting less and less relevant. You know, you have a lot of independent media channels that are getting a lot more views than even these big channels, CNN and MSNBC and like CBS and all these other ones. Like a lot of YouTube channels actually have more views than these guys, you know? You look at PewDiePie and he's just slaying it. He's got millions of subscribers and he gets way more views than probably most of those channels put together if you look at the actual data, which is crazy, but it is true. So it's like, maybe you don't want to go in the traditional media route of magazines or newscasting, right? You don't want to consult or be a freelancer for those people. Maybe there's like some newscasters or some local channels or whatever at your area, and you're thinking about maybe consulting with them by, you know, selling them the ads that you can help them with, or writing and copywriting, or you want to do some brochures or banners or whatever. And you recognize that's not really going to help you with the growth. So remember that you want to choose an industry that it's bubbling and it's booming and it's just going up and up and up, because a lot of these new things like AI and tech and software as a service and e-commerce and all these fields are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that means for you, there's more opportunity, there's more money, there's more transactions being had, so you can actually grow into it. You know, the crypto space is blowing up. So there's a lot of different things that you can merge yourself into in skill set and start learning things that are not only relevant now, but are going to be even more relevant in 5 years. So that's a really important thing. And you only know this by researching it. So I'm going to show you a couple things up on the screen now, some of my background preliminary research that I would go through when I'm serving clients as a copywriter. But this can do the same process and serve you in a similar way as choosing your own niche to research and your own industry to join as a new copywriter, consultant, designer, developer, whatever you're going to be as a freelance consultant or service provider. These types of things are the relevant things that you want to remember and you want to really focus on. So moving on to step 3 really is the final step that I'd have for you here is that remember the competition. You know, like I like to think about collaboration and long-term building and like relationship building with people, and also like helping other people get those their goals so they can help me and vice versa. But there is something that you need to keep in mind with competition, because it is more relevant than ever. Like you don't want to be in a super overcrowded industry where everybody's just undercutting each other and trying to provide the cheapest service to the cheapest, fastest, amazing like service provider and client that they can do. Like that's not what you want to do, because that's going to skyrocket in the other way, like downward, skyrocket downward, the prices, you know, plummet. Price is going to plummet. Service quality is going to be, you know, be very sharp and have a very competitive landscape for you to compete with, where it's like you might not be able to provide the unique service and value that you're looking to provide, and you might not be a brand. You might be reduced to a commodity with low cut prices and low hanging fruit, and people are just out for the money, and clients are shrewdly picking consultants and freelancers that basically only are considering prices. So that really sucks. So you don't want to do that. You want to have a good, as a base level, you want to have a very high potential, high growth, high long-term prospect industry with a very low competition, low cutthroat, low price haggling type of vibe as well. And you want to try to meet them up in the middle and match for your services. So it's like that Venn diagram where you have those 3 things going, right? You've got your good skill set that you like to do and are passionate about. Ideally, you don't have to be, but you should not hate it. You should have lower competition. You should have high potential in the future. So those are the things that you are doing to basically proof your services and future-proof your delivery. So you're still around in 5 or 10 years if you're going to be freelancing and consulting. You don't have to be in 10 years or whatever. You may switch gears by that time, but the point is you don't want to be phased out by super high competition, low margins, and or very, very expensive, time-wasting clients who you spend a lot of time with, and they're already in a dying industry, and you know it's not really any future for you there, right? You want to set yourself up for success, and long-term success and vision and ambition. Applying all that means really figuring out how you can be set up for years in the future to come, because you may be doing this for the next 5 years or more of your life. You may not. You may build a product or service later on. You may build a company or an agency later on, pivot in different ways, but you do want to set yourself up in an industry and learn the fundamentals of an industry that you know that are going to stay around for a long time, so you can basically future-proof your skill set and your mastery, because you do want to have that tangible hands-on experience, which will also help you, like, not only future-proof you, but it will help you be sharper in the future, because you have a competitive advantage later on. So if you have 5 years of doing this under your belt and someone else is just brand new getting into the market, you already know a lot more. You can apply so much more. That's a huge competitive advantage, and you're already in a lower competition space, so you can find you know, niches and sub pockets of this industry that you want to join that are lower competition. And that's another little secret technique where you can join and niche down and further down. So instead of, like we were talking about in the example with, you can click right here, which is the bigger video. It's like a long form 1 hour video of the 5 steps of basically how to get hired as a freelancer and get paid what you deserve. Check that here. But in that video, we were talking about how we have a real estate example. So that's the big overlaying industry. Then we've got a broker example, right? That's a small sub niche in that example. What if you were gonna niche down a little bit more to have less demand but way less competition, so you could specialize into brokers that only serve, you know, multifamily homes, and they only sell these multifamily properties, or they only do single family homes that are beachfront properties, right? You'd have much less competition in that space. And let's say you're in like Florida or somewhere around there, California, whatever. You only go out to niche down with the industry, and then a smaller sub niche of the brokers, and then a smaller sub niche of the people who are doing single family homes, and smaller niche of people doing single family homes with the beachfront views, like beachfront condos and things like that. That would be a lot better for you to not generalize but specialize, because specialists get paid, generalists get underpaid. So you go to a surgeon or heart surgeon to pay, you know, 5 times the price of it because he's the best one in the whole city. Or you go to a dentist who is a specific orthodontist and she's the best person in the whole country for that or whatever. She's gonna charge 10 times amount of normal person, right? So specialists get super well paid, generalists generally get underpaid. So if you can choose that way and choose your niche and choose your industry in a wise way, you will future-proof you in your own skill set in your industry. You will develop a competitive advantage to slay all the other competitors because you're so much better than they are at the specific skill, and you've already niched down, so you already are entrenching and building a moat around your business that it's a lot harder to copy and that you are specialized in. So you can, again, make what you want, get paid what you deserve, not have to have a boss, not have to be like having someone look over your shoulder for all your work. Like, you own your own hours. You can live anywhere you'd want. You can do this from anywhere in any country in the world pretty much, because clients really don't care that much, just from experience, where you live. They want a good result. They want great prices. They want competitive advantages and specialists, and they want professionals. They don't hire amateurs. So that is really what you want to do, is you dial all of those things in at once, and you're going to be really set for a long time. So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I'm glad you're super interested in your copywriting journey, or whether if you're going to be a different freelancer, that's totally fine. You want to be a marketer, consultant, developer, you know, a graphic designer, whatever it may be, strategic consultant, you know, problem solver, basically. It's up to you. But in your freelance journey, you want to really figure out how to do this, and I'm glad you're here to learn all this stuff. So if you really thought that this was valuable content, make sure you smash the like button. Helps me a lot with the growth in the YouTube algorithm, basically, so it's circulated a lot more. But also, more importantly, it helps you because you're going to be suggested or recommended these different videos on the different channel pages. You can go to my entire channel right now. At the end screen, I'm going to show up as well. You can show up all the videos that I have, all the playlists and whatnot. And if you like this stuff, make sure to subscribe to me, Evan, at motiveinmotion.com for the long-term videos that I'm going to be dropping on this series. I'm going to put them all up in the card here as well. But you can also smash the notification bell so you're the first one to get notified before anybody else. You're able to actually see each video coming out, so you can get that much head start on your copywriting or freelancing journey, whatever it may be. And so thank you for that. It's Evan from Moat in Motion once again signing off. Talk to you soon. Peace.